Hey Trent, it's Luke from Channel 9 here. Firstly, we saw Sonny Bill arrive last night in Australia. Have you spoken to him since he touched down?
Yeah, spoke to him this morning briefly. So happy to get back to Australia and get started with some stuff in a confined space.
How's he feeling? Like, does he seem excited to come back and join you guys again?
Yeah, I think the challenge, obviously coming home to where his wife's from, bringing the kids back to Australia, and then the challenge of getting started to attack the back end of the season is high on Sonny's list, and the motivation's right there.
Going forward, how much contact will you have with him in terms of making sure he's fit and on the right track?
Yeah, we'll have a lot. Yeah, we'll be quite available for us daily. We'll have a program and he'll get started in what he can starting from today.
We can't question Sonny Bill's credentials, but I mean, what are you expecting from him to bring to the table for the next rest of the year?
Yeah, look, I think that's for us to work with him over the next period of time until he plays, and then for us to discuss and work out how we're going to use him. I think I'm going to get a lot of those questions over the next few months, and so is he. But I think actions is always what Sonny has been about. So it's about us getting him ready, him getting himself ready, and then us proving and offering him that opportunity to perform.
There has been a lot of talk about him, obviously, in the media and everywhere else. Have you spoken to the team about not sort of getting caught up in all that and getting distracted by it?
No, the guys are used to different things coming up at all different times. Our focus is on tomorrow on the Gold Coast. It's been our focus all week. We haven't discussed it at all, we obviously know and are excited about him coming in, but the task at hand's tomorrow. You get used to it quite a bit in and around Sydney, and that there's a lot of discussion around a lot of different things at all different times, and you can't ebb and flow with those discussions. You've got to stay on task and focus on the game at hand, and that's tomorrow for us.
Hey Trent, what about the chat of competitiveness? I know you brought Sonny in here to do a job over the final 4 rounds and finals, but there's some young guys in your squad that want to be in that starting 17, and Sonny's no shoe-in, is he? So how do you sort of remain or maintain the young fella's competitiveness to say, I could edge Sonny out?
Well, I think the competitiveness in any squad, no matter what the numbers are about players competing for positions, it's the same each week, it's the same each year. You earn your right. It's not a decision for a coach. Usually we make the final decision, but you pick yourself before the coach does. So there's no difference there. There's a constant battle for positions, and that's what creates greatness. So we're going to keep striving for that.
But you talk about the battle for positions. I mean, you guys are still getting the job done, and despite being missing almost half your grand final winning team, what are you most proud of this year? Those are their resilience, the evolution of the side, the character. What is it?
I think we've adapted well very early on in the season, the new season. I've liked the way that we've moved from week to week, depending on the squad and what the task is at hand and the role that's going to be needed. And I also like the freedom at which they've played with. So we've still got a long way to go in development. I feel like there's some real progressions that we want to make over the next month. That started last week, and we want to progress that again tomorrow. So we still want to attack the season. We're right in the belly of it, so we're looking forward to doing that tomorrow.
You haven't named Boyd again. He's such a warrior on all levels of the game. How worried are you and the coaching staff about just how much he puts in and how much he puts his body on the line and the potential for more injuries and trying to reduce that?
Yeah, so Boyd's progressing really well. It was too short obviously after last week to play him this week, but he's in a good state. And what happens here when he's not going through all the training at the moment, there's a real freshness that comes, and he's in the middle of that. So I'm not concerned about Boyd in the short, medium or long term. It's just love the way he plays, and having the ability to play that way consistently needs an amount of freshness and retraining. So we're getting that done, and then he'll be ready to go very soon.
Robbo, it's Fatima from The Telegraph. How are you?
Yeah, good, Fatima. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. I just want to talk to you about the competitiveness and the competition for spots you were talking about. There's a kid that you've been naming on the extended bench, Daniel Fafeta. Can you tell us a little bit about him and how far off he is?
Yeah, Daniel's a kid from the local area, and he's sort of come through the last few years in our junior system. He's been really training against the big boys, so obviously Siwa and Jared and the like have been moulding him in the way that they train against him. And Dan's ready to play, so he's been very focused. He's been training really well. Obviously, without the reserve grade, we're not allowed to train against anybody else at the moment, so you can't see that competition against people you don't know. So you've got to really rely on training, and Dan's been standing up. So yeah, he's ready to go when needed.
By moulding him, do you mean he's the kind of player that doesn't take a backward step?
That's it. That's exactly right. So yeah, that's a part of the way that those players, they want to stand next to a guy that stands up to them and competes with them at training, and that's what Dan's done. He's had some choices there in contact and in playing in the opposition team. He's been asked some questions by those forwards, and he stood up and answered them, and that's where he's gained respect. So yeah, looking forward to playing him when ready.
I know you said it makes it difficult because there is no reserve grade, and I know the new COVID rules have sort of made scrimmages difficult too against other clubs. Does that mean it's unlikely we'll see him this year?
No. There's obviously in the 21, there's the need for those players to play is high, but we can't because of restrictions. So therefore, you've got to rely on training, and yeah, all those guys are ready to play. I think you'll see different players that you haven't seen over the next month play as well. So they're all ready, just waiting for their chance.
Trent, can I just ask you quickly about Justin Holbrook? Obviously, you don't like spending too much time talking about opposition teams and coaches, but he's a good friend of yours. He worked under you for many years at the Roosters. And I think the Titans even spoke to you before they appointed him. What have you made of the work he's been doing with the Gold Coast this year? Yeah, just briefly, he's a good man and a good coach. I feel like he's stayed the course with his attitude, and he'll continue to progress. As you can see, he's laid a really good foundation for his coaching. And just quickly on Brett Morris as well, Trent, how's he come through his injury? And obviously Ryan Hall gets his chance again this week. Yeah, rest for Brett. I think it's even hard for me to explain what kind of an injury is. Sort of a little fracture there. It's like a broken rib, a similar type repair to that. So he's just got to rest, recover from that, and yeah, he'll be fine in a week or two. But it does mean initial rest for him is really important. And Hawley's he's got some experience. He's played some games, and he's starting to get more and more games with us. So it's good to get him out there. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to Ryan offering that potential. He's such a driven guy, and offering up what I've seen for over a decade in the Super League, and he really wants to perform on stage here in the NRL. It's a driver for him, and yeah, I really want him to perform week on week. So I'm looking forward to watching him play.